welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of Thread the Needle. And man, y'all don't understand how great that felt to say. And I don't think I've said that since 2021. Um, it's 2026 now. It's been 5 years. So I just want to say I appreciate all of the day one supporters that were here and that were constantly asking, "Where is Thread the Needle? Where is my favorite show?" I miss seeing y'all talk y'all ish, man. And I just want to say that Thread the Needle is officially back, and I just couldn't be happier to say that this is my passion, it's my dream, um, and Thread the Needle is gonna be bigger than just a YouTube show or just a podcast or whatever. Like it's truly gonna be a brand. It's gonna be an empire, and I can't build that by myself. So with the support of y'all, it's gonna happen. So I appreciate y'all again for tapping in with me. Hey, if you're new, make sure you subscribe down below. Tap that bell so you notified whenever I upload. And like, comment, subscribe. Well, I already said subscribe. Like, comment, and share with your friends, man. And yeah, man, get the word out, man. Thread the Needle is back. Thread the Needle back, baby. You know what I'm saying? We back. So let's get right into it. Let's get into why y'all clicked on this video. So, college football playoff is officially underway. Second round just concluded last night. Um, we had two good games, I would say. Ohio State Miami was a good game. Um, Indiana Alabama was horrible. Um, that game it felt as if Indiana was the SEC school and Alabama was the basketball school. That's what it felt like watching that game. Texas Tech and Oregon. Texas Tech offense was a no show. Um, they just got dominated up front all day by Oregon. Oregon's front seven pretty much had their way whenever they wanted or needed to get a sack or just to wreak havoc. They did. So shout out to Oregon. And then you had the Ole Miss upset over Georgia last night. And hey, shout out to Ole Miss, man. You see what I'm repping. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't nothing better for me. It was a great hate watch for Georgia last night. A great hate watch. So shout out to Ole Miss, man. Y'all handle business. But yeah. Um, I am gonna say one thing, and comment down below if y'all also believe this, or hey, even if you disagree. If you disagree, that's completely fine. Have these playoffs been a bit underwhelming, or is it just me? Because I'm gonna be honest, like maybe it's the matchups. Maybe the matchups just weren't all that good to me, or maybe on paper they were, but then the games just didn't live up to the hype a little. Like Indiana, Alabama, I definitely thought was going to be a better game. I knew Indiana would win, but I definitely thought it would have been a better game, a more competitive game. Um, Even if you go to Texas Tech and Oregon, I definitely thought Texas Tech had a chance to beat Oregon, even have or just have a good competitive game against Oregon, and Oregon just straight up dominated them. And then, if you look at some of the first round matchups, you had Oregon against JMU. That was just a game of offense. I like a little bit of defense in my series. You know what I'm saying? And that game had none. That game was disgusting. That game is not football. Some people might just like seeing touchdowns getting scored every drive. Not me. Not me. Not me. I play defense when I play football. I like seeing a little bit of defense. That's football to me. Football is when you can see good defense, you can see good offense, you can see good special teams. That is football. And I just felt like the Oregon and JMU game, there was no defense being played. There were 11 players out on defense for both teams, but it was just a lot of bad defense being played in that game. Then you had the Ole Miss just decimation of Tulane. And, hey, shout out to John Summerall, man. You know what I'm saying? Right over left, baby. Right over left. Shout out to John Summerall. But, yeah, man, they got their head dribbled out the pavement. And was not a good game to watch. I think I tapped out of that game like mid third quarter, maybe, if I even made it that long. So I say all that to say I just felt like the playoffs have been a bit underwhelming. Maybe they'll get a little bit better now that we're in the Final Four, essentially. So I don't know. Maybe it'll get better. So I'll just let that be to be decided. But please comment down below and let me know if y'all have also come to that conclusion that you think the playoffs have been a bit underwhelming. And then on top of that, today, January 2nd, the transfer portal officially opened. And man, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, it's a lot of talent. It's a lot of talent in that portal. And it listen, I'm gonna say this. I wanna see what teams are gonna be extra aggressive in the portal. Because I guarantee you the teams that are extra aggressive in the portal, they're gonna be the teams that are in the playoffs next year. Because look at the playoffs this year. Like look at the bracket. Look at like you the final four alone. All four of those teams hit the portal hard in the off season, and it's paid off. Um, Indiana is starting a portal quarterback. Dante Moore was already on the roster, but they had portal additions outside of quarterback. Ole Miss is playing a transfer quarterback. Miami is playing a transfer quarterback. I mean, and then the defenses are littered with transfer players. So that's I say that to say the teams that are going to be aggressive in the portal, I guarantee those are going to be the teams that are battling for playoff position because that has been the recipe for success in this era. You have to be a big player. You have to be a big spender in the portal because it's going to be talent in the portal because in this new NIL era, a lot of the players are chasing that bag. They're not really like when I was coming up watching college ball, players committed to schools and coaches. But I feel like now players are committing to where where that money is, where they're gonna get the biggest bag at. And that's been the play in this new NIL era. So it's a lot of talent, but you're gonna have to be a spender. You're gonna definitely have to be a spender to get it. But there's talent in the portal, and I'm interested to see who is going to be big players in the portal this season because I think the recipe is out there. You gotta go spin in the portal, and hey, well, obviously you have to spend right. You can't just be spending money just to spend money. You gotta spend money at the right positions on the right players. But if you're smart with your money and you're willing to spend the money, hey, you hit off in the portal, more than likely you're gonna be in the playoffs. So that was just my little piece on that. And like I said, just comment down below if y'all agree or if y'all disagree or just whatever y'all take is on the transfer portal era because it's crazy right now. And a lot of teams are losing talent. A lot of teams it's harder for teams to retain talent and truly build teams because I think that Michigan team when they won the national championship, I think that is going to be the last team in this era unless they start like governing the transfer portal, which I think they should. But until then, I think that Michigan team that won the national championship is going to be the last team where you see that the entire team, or pretty much the majority of that team, had been on that team all 4 years, and they just built themselves up into finally winning a championship. I truly believe that that was the last team that we're going to see like that in this new era, just because a lot of these players aren't, like I said, they're not committing to universities. They're not committing to these coaches anymore. They're committing to how much money they're going to be getting per year, and it's a per year thing. You're gonna have to re-sign these players every year because um, if a player has a great season and he's not draft eligible yet, he's gonna want more than whatever he got that previous season. So it's a per year thing. So it's definitely not a good system right now, or it's not even a system. It really, it's just not a lot of good going on right now with the transfer portal and the NIL stuff. But hopefully in the coming years that we'll eventually get to a place where we're pretty much like the NFL, because that's what college football is pretty much. I wouldn't even say heading. It's at that point where it's like the NFL, and you're gonna have to start treating it as such because, um, I mean, that's what it's becoming. I mean, the transfer portal is pretty much free agency. We had our first trade basically last off season with Nico going to UCLA and Joey Aguilar going to Tennessee. And I'm pretty sure that's not going to be the first trade. I'm pretty sure it's going to be something similar to that in this offseason, where you see a quarterback go from one school, and then that quarterback transfers and goes to that other quarterback's previous school. I guarantee we're going to see more of that. So I think we have to eventually get to a point where we have to adopt some of the NFL's rules with free agency and tampering, and just the scheduling and things with coaches, and with the whole Lane Kiffin saga. We definitely need to re-govern the sport right now, because right now it's just a free fall, and I don't know how much longer it can last like this. So I would definitely like to see it being some type of governing body going on right now, because right now it's just chaos going on. So um, yeah, I'll leave that to the big brains that handle that type of stuff, but they need to do something. But yeah, I think that's gonna be enough for this video. I'm gonna keep it short. Just I'm just happy to be back on Thread the Needle, just back doing this in front of this camera, and just giving y'all my 2 cents on sports and all this stuff that's going on. So I appreciate y'all for tapping in. I appreciate y'all for keeping up with us. Like I said, if you're new, subscribe down below. Turn that bell on. Consistency all 2026. That's the motto. So that's what we on. And yeah, Thread the Needle's back, baby. Thread the Needle's back. Until next time, it's been your boy Marvin. I'm out.